Alright, I might be getting crazy, but I'm super excited to share this with you. Now, in most of my videos, I share free robots and strategies that I actually trade and test and improve, and I improve them because I have your feedback and suggestions, so thank you guys so much for doing that. Now, what I noticed is that when one strategy loses for one market and one time frame, the other for different market and different time frame is actually profitable. So it compensates the losses of the first strategy. And the idea of trading bunch of strategies into a portfolio keeps me up all night. Okay, it's not just that, I have 3 kids. However, I decided to challenge myself and put 5 expert advisors in one trading account from different markets and different time frames. And guess which expert advisors I'll be using? The free ones that I already shared with you in some of my previous videos. So I have selected 2 for Eurodollar, 2 for Bitcoin, and 1 for S&P 500. I'll put them together in one trading account and I will show you how I am analyzing the results. Before I move to the computer, I want to say thank you for watching my videos, giving me all of that feedback, which is super precious. And that gives me the energy and the craziness to share my strategies and robots with you guys. And if you feel a little bit the same, just smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. This will be super useful for the channel. And part of this video is sponsored by Black Bull Markets, but more on that later. And now, if you're ready, let's see if that will be a good crazy idea or it will be stupidity. Let's see it together. Hello everyone, Petko Alexandrov. I hope you have an amazing day, and in today's video I will put 5 of my expert advisors in one trading account. I'll record the whole thing and we will see together how this will go. So in front of me I have an account with the Black Bull Markets, and all I need to do is to go to File, Open Data Folder, MQL4 Experts, and this is where I'll be dropping these expert advisors. I'll close the folder, I will right click over expert advisors in the navigator and I will hit on refresh. This will compile the expert advisors, and by the way, I have this MetaTrader installed on a VPS, virtual private server, that will allow me to trade with them automatically. If you are trading on your desktop or laptop machine, you need to make sure that you are not closing the laptop, you're not disconnecting the internet. Anyway, the MetaTrader will be disconnected from the broker's server and the robots won't be trading. So right after the expert advisors are compiled, I'll need to put them on the chart. So let me start with the euro dollar on H1, but before putting it on the chart, the first thing I have to do is to enable the auto trading, and then I will double click on the first euro dollar for the H1 chart. In the inputs I can see all of the parameters and indicators. I will hit on OK, and this will attach the expert advisor on the chart. You can see the smiley face. Then I will need to open one more chart for euro dollar, but that one is for M15. So I will make sure to switch down time frame and I will double click on the expert advisor and hit on OK. Now I need a Bitcoin chart, so I'll press B on my keyboard to find it faster. Chart window, and I will go down to M15. Double click on the expert and I will hit on OK. I'll repeat the very same thing. And while I'm doing that, I need to tell you that it is important to decide with how much you will be trading. It depends on the account you are trading, the leverage and the risk tolerance, like how much you want to risk from your account. Now the last expert advisor is for S&P, so I will press S and look for it. Here we go. I will right click chart window, and that expert advisor trades on the M1 time frame. I will double click on it, and here in inputs I can change the lots. You can keep it to 1 lot, or you can decrease it to 0.5, 0.2, 0.1, 0.001 is the lowest with most of the brokers. So it's up to you really with how much you are trading. I'll hit it OK, and now all of the expert advisors are attached on the charts. If I right click and tile windows, I can keep an eye on each one, and I don't need to put any indicators over the charts, right? All of the indicators, the strategies and the conditions to open and close trades are within the code of the experts, and they will open trade as soon as there are signals. And before I show you some results from the robots, I want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Black Bull Markets. On our brokers page, TA Trading Academy, we have reviewed plenty of regulated brokers And on the top we have the Black Bull Markets, which is a brand regulated by the FMA and the FSA with competitive spreads and commissions. My team has reviewed the broker, so you can learn more about it in details, but you can always test the broker yourself by opening a demo or virtual account and trade different markets such as Forex, commodities, CFDs on cryptocurrencies and stocks, and you can choose between 3 different type of accounts depending on how much you'll be trading with. With the ECN standard account, you won't have a minimum and you will still trade with spreads below 1 pip and no commissions. If you invest more than $2,000, you will trade with lower spreads and $6 per lot as commission. In both accounts, you will enjoy leverage up to 1 to 500, which is the reason I started using Black Bull Markets myself a few years ago. With that being said, thank you guys so much for sponsoring the video, and now let's go back to some real results. Alright, this is crazy, and next day, in less than 24 hours, I have $1,547.27 as a profit, or this is above 15% in the account. And let me show you quickly the trades. So I had one very small profit of $3.50 with the S&P 500. You can see the trade right in here. It opened at that point and closed at that point. Now I have another sell trade that is going on a loss. We'll see how that will go. But if I switch to the Bitcoin, you will see that both of the expert advisors caught that awesome move right in here, okay? At the very same time, 19,324.47, you can see the hour of the opening, and they closed nearly at the same time, catching a fantastic move of $1,000, and they brought about $945 each. And I had one euro-dollar losing trade. If I switch to the euro-dollar charts, let's see which expert advisor brought that loss. It's the H1. Right in here is the opening and right in here is the closing, right? Now I have another long trade that is on a profit for the moment. Price just breaks, so we'll see if that would be a strong resistance or the price will break through. However, what is important is the trading amount, and I did this with purpose. When placing the expert advisors on the chart, I have placed the S&P 500 with one lot as well. Now with the Black Bull Markets, we have contract size of 1 with the S&P 500, and we have contract size of 1 as well with the Bitcoin, right? But Bitcoin sits at $20,000 while S&P 500 sits at $3,800. So if you want to have equal exposure, I will divide the current price of Bitcoin with the current price of S&P 500, and I will see 5.26. So this is how much of S&P 500 I want to be trading. I will increase the lots to 5.26. Okay, and if I click on OK with the next trade, I will have a bigger amount as trading volume with the S&P 500, or you can decrease the lots of Bitcoin, right? But my purpose at the end of the day is to have equal exposure between the assets and the account, and trading one lot of S&P 500 compared to one lot with Bitcoin is way smaller, right? And I will see how this will go, but $1,500 in less than 24 hours is just fantastic. And here we go, about a week after the first trades were opened, and because I want to be super transparent, I will show you what I have in the account. If you look at my account history, you will see all trades that opened and closed until the moment. Let me make it on a bigger window. So this way you will see all the trades. So here at the beginning we had these profitable nice trades with the Bitcoin. Then we had a losing trade with the euro dollar. Another great profit with the Bitcoin on the long side. And here we have one short trade that went on a loss and brought nearly 5% drawdown in account, but I will show you in a second what is the actual drawdown I had. And then I had a few small trades, another great sell trade from Bitcoin, and what I have recently a few more sell trades with Bitcoin. So you can see that In the last days, Bitcoin was really active, way more active than Euro Dollar and S&P 500, but that's the idea of trading different assets. Sometimes Bitcoin is just going flat and S&P will be more active, or Euro Dollar. But what I want to show you is that from the account history, I can open a detailed statement, and here you will see all the trades that opened and closed. And here it is. At the start, I had a great push, which I showed to you, and then here is this drawdown, and now the account is just going sideways, which is quite normal, and I have seen it so many times. But the most important thing is that we should not see really huge drawdowns, and the maximal drawdown I had was 750 or 6.37%. Now if I was not in my own account but I was attending FTMO challenge, for example, where they target 10% profit and the maximal drawdown is 5%, I would fail with the drawdown because I exceeded 1.37, right? I have 6.37, but I would pass the challenge, or I would reach my target in the first day because I did over 10%. And if you're attending such a challenge and you got your target in the first day, which is possible, you can decide to stop because you have reached your target. And usually these challenges have minimum trading days, so usually you should trade at least 10 days, and if you reach your target you can simply open 0.01 lots from time to time to maintain activity. But because you have reached your target, you are good to go. But because this is my personal account, I don't want to stay just inactive, and I will keep trading. Probably I will switch some of the expert advisors. However, you can use any of the EIs and the robots from my videos to create your own portfolio, and make sure to have equal exposure between the different markets, time frames. This is where I feel alright, and this way I don't see huge drawdowns in the accounts, and personally this is how I feel safer to participate on the markets with expert advisors. So thank you guys so much for staying with me until the end of the video. I really appreciate it. I'll be happy if you smash the like button. If you have found that video useful, it will be wonderful for the YouTube algorithm. It will push the video to a brand new audience, and if they do the same, I will be really happy. And don't forget to check out all the links down below in the description to grab some free stocks if you are in Europe, free crypto no matter where you are. And with that being said, I have to wish you a wonderful day. Don't forget that I love you. We'll see you soon.